So my name is Sebastian Emery. I work for the city of Paris, and I will present you one of our famous sustainable eco-districts within Paris, in which we try to combine integrative energy strategy within urban planning. So Clichy Batignolles is located in northwest of Paris. It's the largest eco-district for Paris. It's 54 hectares project with a dedicated 10-hectare park, which is pretty huge for a city like Paris. In the past, it was an industrial site. Basically, it was used for train storage, and it was also our project for Paris candidature for Olympics 2012. But as you know, thanks to London, this project has just become a more urban project for Paris citizens. So, to best understand the rest of my presentation, I will show you and explain you briefly planning process within Paris. So here are the different steps. At first, the city fixes aims and location for the project. After that, the city signs a contract with a private-public company, which will act as an urban developer. Then this company will buy the land for the project and will begin urban planning process, which includes the public spaces and infrastructure, so roads and grids and so on. And after this first planning process, the private-public company will buy the land, each plot to be built to a real estate company. And the real estate company will manage their building project. So as the building projects are done, the district can welcome its new inhabitants. So the project in Paris lasts over 15 years, so it's a really long project. Therefore, the requirements you fix at the beginning of the project must often be reinforced and updated during the process. So here are some data about Clichy Batignolles. So it's a 54 hectares project, which is still ongoing. And at last, it will represent 550,000 square meter of floor area. It's a mixed project with housing, with 3,400 units of housing, with half of social housing. There's also office with 140,000 square meter, and also trade, public facilities with almost 40,000 square meter, and a 140-meter high skyscraper, which will accommodate our Paris courthouse and its department. So here's the schedule for the project. The project began in 2002. In 2007, it was the first implementation from the project. Basically, it was part of the park. In 2011, Paris land use plan has to be modified, especially for the building of the skyscraper. And in 2012, the first inhabitant came into the project. And the project should last until 2020, but very likely most 2022. So here's the master plan for the project. And on the right hand, you've got the housing part of the project. In the center, you notice the park. And the left hand, you've got the offices, which are mainly along the railroad from the Paris Saint-Lazare station, which is in the south. And here you've got the public facilities. And in the north part, you've got the skyscraper and mainly some public facilities around it. As an eco-district, energy is a really important thing for the master plan of the project. So we have really strict requirements for new buildings, especially for max energy consumption, which is 50 kilowatt-hour per square meter per year, which in France represents a reduction of 30% from the national regulation. And the master plan also fixes max energy need for heating, which is 15 kilowatt-hour per square meter per year. And also to reduce the GHG emission of the whole project, some materials are forbidden for the project. And every materials that are used in this project must be labelized. We manage an embodied energy assessment at the beginning of the process, and it's currently updated. In the next slides, I will present you some technical solutions that are implemented in the project. So first, for the skyscrapers, the max energy consumption is 75 kilowatt-hour per square meter per year, which will represent about half of the consumption of the formal skyscraper in Paris La Défense, for example. About the design of the building, every building must reach a compact design to reduce energy demand. Here are also some different technical solutions that are implemented, mainly to produce heating using the floor on the left-hand corner. There's also a bioclimatic design for each building, dual orientation to have a max ventilation for the apartment, and also 3 different examples of renewable energy production within buildings. So you've got heat pumps, but also heat exchange from wastewater, and of course, geothermal cooling. Regarding energy production, we try to maximize local renewable energy production. So master plan fixed 2 main topics. The first one is geothermal energy. So we've got a backup well that supply every building of the project for heating and hot water with 85% of renewable energy. So the well draws the water at 650 meter depth and bring with heat pump warm water at 45 and 65 degrees Celsius. And the backup well is also used for emergency water production. The second part for this energy production is about solar production. So we've got about 35,000 square meters of solar panel. Mainly it's a photovoltaic one, and it produces about 3,000 megawatt hour per year, which represent 40% of the electricity need for the buildings. So we have different technical solutions to have solar panel on roofs, facades, and also as solar protection. And there's a really big attention at architectural integration for the buildings. To fix and control all these requirements, the city resorts mainly on contracts. As I said, there's a contract between the city and the private public company which will act as an urban developer. And there's also a contract between the urban developer and each real estate company. So basically, all the requirements I said before are fixed, mainly directly in the contracts or in a dedicated annex on sustainable development. So to manage and to control the results, the city make what we say a receiver of 4% from each sale. So the city keeps 4% of the sale money until the end of the project to assure that the results are fulfilled. And to complete the energy strategy, we also have a dedicated waste management solution, which consists of a pneumatic waste collection with different collection spots in each building, but also on the public spaces. And this project provides us a reduction of 42% of GHG emission and also a reduction of air pollution. And in addition to this measure about mitigation, we also have measure and action about adaptation to climate change to make more resilient eco-district. So we have 2 main topics for resilient district. The first one is greening, of course. And in addition to the 10 hectares park, we also have 500 square meter private garden and also 16,000 square meter green roofs. So we have different technical solutions to greening the project, and all these solutions enhance thermal insulation for the buildings, but also give some reduction about the urban heat island, and also provide local food production. And the other part of this resilience strategy is water management, especially rainwater management. So we have some technical solution, especially within the park. And this technical solution provide a reduction of 50% of the rainwater discharge in the city sewer. And also it supply 40% of irrigation needs for the park. So water is using for cooling, also for biodiversity protection, and of course for drinking. So here are the results for Clichy Batignolles. So for the city of Paris, it was a big challenge, but also a big opportunity to test really innovative technical solution to implement energy strategy within urban planning. Thank you for your attention.